I'm Sheena. I'm the founder of COSIS. I am joined on stage today with Amy Liu of Tower 28, Stacy Cunningham from the Silhouette Hair Studio, and Ivan Pohl of the Beauty Sandwich. This is an emotional conversation. It's a conversation about resilience, and resilience does take some time to show its face because I think in those early days we were very much in survival. So I lost my home in the Palisades fire as well. I'm sitting here on stage, not next to you guys, but with you because I'm part of the story as well. So I'm holding the space for us to have this discussion of how you moved from survival, from the initial moments of survival, into resilience, which is where we are today. So the first question that I have is for all of you, because we really want to understand what happened and what your state of mind was when we were going through this catastrophic natural disaster in our homes, in the homes of your businesses that you've built for more than 20 years. Can you walk us through what it was like in the immediate aftermath for your businesses, for your teams, and what practices and mindsets, and how did you actually stay grounded? How did you survive in those early days?
I mean, for me, it was, it was a surreal moment. It was my birthday. So I opened my business 6 years ago. I started the Beauty Sandwich. I gave myself the ultimate gift on my birthday, which was founding my brand and building the spa of my dreams. And it burned exactly that same day, 6 years later. So it was extremely emotional to kind of see my, the thought of this dream crumble. But what really kept me grounded was, the thought of skin tension, like the talk before me. Staying grounded in your dreams. There's so many founders here, so many creators. I'm, on this stage with founders and creators. Our love of beauty, my passion for beauty is what kept me grounded in that moment and gave me my resilience and snatched me to continue on, so I am able to deliver, my message to the world.
Have you made any meaning of the dates and the starting of your birthday and having it end on that same day, now that you have some distance from it?
It is everything in life. I say it's love, beauty, energy, right? Love is the fruit of everything, but it was that energy. I think it was the closing of that chapter for me. And for me to realize that, yes, this was a beautiful space and it was the beginning, but it was not the end for me. It was the beginning of a new chapter.
Thank you. Stacy.
Yes, for me, it was shocking, obviously. I really didn't know how to feel. Even now, I haven't really processed it. I just jumped right back into work, like a week later. I found a new place to work, and I just jumped right back in because that was my therapy, and that's what I needed to get through. And my clients and the community, everyone just showed up for me. So I've just been going along and along.
And you work in a really personalized field,
yes,
where you're really touching people. Mm-hmm. You built your business in a physical community.
Yes.
And that community held you. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like with your community in those early days?
Yes, they really came, they showed up. My clients, they're like my family. So we're really close. Businesses, local distributors that I use a lot all the time, they've come through and always give me words of encouragement. I actually went back to a salon that I started working, my very first salon I worked at when I got out of beauty school over 30 years ago. So I went back there to work temporarily until we rebuild or the next step. But people just showed up, showed out, was there. So I really have no complaints. It's been hard, but good.
It's a really difficult and scary way to have to experience and learn how much people actually love you.
Yes. And I didn't know until I knew, but I didn't know until this happened. Clients that I haven't seen in years showed up, called, sent text messages, just dropped money in my Zelle account. And I haven't done them for many years.
Yeah.
But they seen it on the news. And so they came through.
And I think that says a lot about you.
Yes, thank you.
Amy.
Hi. God, I looking at this picture, I haven't looked at any of these types of pictures in a minute, and I think when I got up here and I saw it, I was like, so to be clear, I lived in the Pacific Palisades. If this was my street, my house would be like right off the picture because my house is standing, but the rest of my street is devastation. So I live on a street that kind of goes up and down, and then we live at the kind of the peak of the hill, and there are 5 houses that are standing, and mine are one of them. So directly to my left, the house is standing. Directly to the right, there was nothing but a chimney. So the house is unlivable, and has lead and all kinds of things that make it unlivable, but really it is, the community is just not there anymore. So, and to rewind, we bought our house. It's hard to buy a house in LA. It's expensive. We didn't buy our house until I was 39 years old. It was our first home. We didn't get any help. And we bought like a 1950s original, and we remodeled it and did it like on a budget. We really bootstrapped it. And it was the first time I had done something like this, where I had done something where I just had no idea how to do it, right? Like I was hiring structural engineers, and I was like, what does that mean? And they were asking me, I didn't know what a doorstop did. I was like, what? I need one of those? Like it just was all of these things I had never done. And in a lot of ways, I thought of it as this, and I had a small budget, and I was trying to make it work. And this house kind of symbolized for me this thing that I did that I didn't know how to do before. And it really gave me the confidence to, I think, start Tower 28 in the end. Because it was this like visual symbol of something that I had tried and was, successful with. And so then, and I raised my kids there. I have 3 kids. They're 16, 14, and 10. This is what they understand to be their home. Like they don't know, they don't remember the condo that we lived in before that. They went to the neighborhood schools. We were really part of the community. And when the fire happened, I was at home. And the first thing I did was I swooped up my daughter because she was nearby. My son and other daughter were far, so it wasn't so pertinent. And we left, and it took an hour. It took a few hours to just get like a few miles, right? Like I live maybe 1.5 miles away from PCH, and it took a really long time, and it was really scary. And this is going to make it sound even more dramatic, but it's true. But this is the second fire I've lived through. So the first, we rented a house a long time ago, and that house burned down after living there for 1 week. So this is my second time of having gone through this. The first time I lost everything, as Sheena has, like all of my personal belongings, everything I owned, every photo, everything. This time, we did not lose our home. We lost our community. And I will tell you, it's worse. This time, my kids have lost my daughter's school was the one that the New York Times kept flashing on all of the, pictures because her school burned down, and it was very dramatic because you could see the sign, but nothing behind it. And I had all the same experiences you did, and I'm just reliving it right now because I haven't thought about it, honestly. But people I didn't know text me from, or people I haven't talked to since high school sometimes, which, guys, it's been a while. So people were texting me that 30 something years ago, and I was like, what, you have my phone number? And so there was this groundswell of people who like your community, and I think this is a word we keep hearing, the community shows up for you in a way that you're like, wow, I didn't know that was even there, and it feels so good. And then it's interesting because now I'm sitting here and thinking about it, and I'm like, I think for most people, it's like something that happened a while ago, and it doesn't really impact, nobody thinks about it that much anymore. So yes, all to say, how did I cope with it? I think much like what you guys said, and maybe this is like being a founder, an entrepreneur, or any business person, I just jumped into doing. That was kind of my thing, and I immediately found us a place to live, went to Target and bought plates and silverware and did all of those things. My husband, ironically, did something very different. He decided to go and buy bikes and skateboards. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, we need beds to sleep on. And he was like, we live in Venice now. I need a bike. I was like, what? So like men and women, I think, I don't know, or maybe just him and me did things really differently. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was a really long-winded answer. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I really rambled.
It is, I think like one of the things that people ask me all the time is, has your relationship to things changed?
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things we heard over and over in that moment is, well, you're safe, it was things.
Yeah.
And there is a level of truth to that, of course, and it's not about the things. My relationship to things did change. They mean more to me now than they ever did before.
Yeah.
Because the things represent the map of the life that I lived.
Yeah.
And at least those memories aren't gone. And what I have learned in that process is that I built that map to begin with, which means I know how to do that. I have the map of the map inside of me. I know how to build the map again. Yeah. That's the resilience piece of it. Because I think in the early days, the absolute pure and utter survival shock. I personally did not buy a thing because I was too scared to carry something with me from one place to the next place because I didn't know where I was going to end up. And that piece of the community, losing our community, has been absolutely the hardest thing, because when you have that thought in your mind, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
That's what we mean when we say, I just want to go home. I just want to go home back to my people. I want to see my neighbors.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to that guy.
It's like your barista, right? Like the guy that you go see coffee.
All of it.
You're like everyone.
All of it. Ivan, for you, the beauty sandwich. I think what you do is one of the closest forms of human connection. It's incredibly intimate to be touching somebody and to be in the business of body image, which I think all of us are in. It's a very revealing conversation. It's very vulnerable for people. How have you been connecting with your clients, with your community, in that intimate space, knowing what you've been through ever since the fires?
I'm connecting more than ever. Just like you were saying, people reached out to me, an outpouring, response of love, more than ever. People, told me about that they came to my spa 5 years ago, 3 years ago. That connection, right? That lives on, and it really has allowed me to relive the memories as opposed to reliving, the tragedy of this all. But, human connection is everything. We are made of energy. That energetic exchange that we have, those moments, that's what we take with us, right? The community may be gone, but those moments that we shared, when I moved to Los Angeles 6 years ago, I didn't know anyone. This community opened itself up to me. The Palisades, with open arms, took me in. So I was more devastated for everyone around me than I was for myself, because so many people lost their homes, their businesses, their, even members of their family. What I had there, I could rebuild. So what keeps me going is that connection that I have with my clients. They keep me, grounded in my mission, which is to, it's that connection of snatching your skin and your spirit. That's what keeps us going. Yeah. That's the message. Human connection.
And will you rebuild?
I will rebuild, absolutely. I have 2 other locations, New York and Miami, where I'm from, but I founded this brand in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is my home. It's what I call home. It was the birth of this brand. So I will rebuild. I've been fortunate enough to find a new space, and it's important for women to have that safe space again, because that's the number one thing that I heard was, I felt so safe in the space that you created. So I need to definitely continue with that message so that we can all feel, seen, heard, but absolutely safe.
My guess is it's you that brings the safety to the space. So
Thank you.
I have no
Thanks
doubt
so
you'll
much.
be doing that again. You mentioned LA. Here's a question for you guys. Did you ever think about leaving LA?
I never considered it. I mean, I built a brand or kind of around the, visual aesthetic of LA too. And Tower 28 is named after a lifeguard tower in LA. And I never thought about leaving it. Literally, I mean, again, that buzzword community, but it's true. Like I think that's, at the end of the day, it's where your friends and family and your people are. And that's what it is for me.
Yeah, no, never thought about leaving. That's my home. I love it. I love the area I was in, Pasadena, Altadena area. I would never consider leaving. So.
It's magic. LA is magic. Yes. You know, the topography. I never thought about leaving, even though I have 2 other places to go. It's where I built this brand, and it's where the brand will continue.
And there are so many beautiful places in the world. Like don't get me wrong, I've thought about leaving LA many times over the course of my life. But until this happened, actually, because what I realized through this situation was how much I needed people, how badly and desperately I needed my friends, my family, and like we're lucky enough to, I grew up in Southern California. That's where everyone was. Yeah. Leaving LA would mean leaving the people, and that is the thing that would be really, really difficult to tolerate. Amy, you mentioned that you really jump into action, and you really did. You did a lot in the aftermath. You organized the LA Fire Community Support Event. You organized 150 brands. You donated 70,000 pieces of product to 1,500 impacted families. I was watching you. You were out there. We appreciate you. What made you jump into action? Because honestly, I was just flattened. I could not believe my eyes.
Yeah. So I was watching like all of you were, and I saw people, and it was so kind. People were posting these kind of like where donations were, old blankets and water and like really disaster relief type gifting, and I feel like I know the community that I live in, and I was like, these people want like new things. They want suitcases, they want makeup, they want beauty, and I feel like I am uniquely privileged to be in a position where I know a lot of people, including many of the people in this room, and actually Molly Sims from Wise is here too, and she sprang into action with me on this, but it was me and Jenna Jackson, who some of you know, and Molly, and we all kind of got on a group text and we were talking about this, and I was like, I feel like we could put together a gifting suite. What if we just asked a few people? And I called my landlord in my office and I said, I know that 4th floor is open. Could I use that 4th floor and do a gifting suite? And she said yes. But she didn't realize how much product was coming. And then we started getting the boxes, and we didn't coordinate, to be clear. All of us just started texting people, and we're like, hey, you wanna send? And we just started sending our address to people. Oh my God. So I wasn't planning on doing 70,000 pieces of product, but that is what we ended up doing. I had to hire an event planner who actually did it pro bono, and we had to move everything from my office to an event space because it became this huge thing. But in the end, it was so worth it because these people who had been displaced really just felt like it was an opportunity not just to get things, but to see each other. And we actually had a whole space that was just about like, we had ice cream and food and whatever that people had donated. And it was there just for people to be in community and to see each other after this happened, because there was no literal physical spot to do that. And honestly, I think I got a lot more out of it than anyone else did, because it was just so, and my team got to, and as soon as this happened, my team was like, what can we do, what can we do, what can we do? And I was like, you can do your job. That's what you could do for me right now. Like, you could really help me by taking care of everything, because I need a minute. And they did. And then I think it feels good to do something, though. Sometimes we all feel so helpless. Like right now, I'll be honest, I feel really helpless with everything going on in LA right now. And when you feel helpless, and that's why I think it's so nice to be able to like reach out and help other people, you want to do something. And that was my version of it, is I just want, and I think it felt good for my team, it felt good for other teams to kind of come together and be able to just do something together. But again, that is the power of community.
I so agree. It is the opposite of feeling helpless. I think that what I was getting frantic calls from
Yeah.
people just begging desperately, please tell me something that I can do.
Yeah, well, you
Please.
feel like a loss of like agency, right? Like you're so not in control. Like I'm not in control of where I live right now. I'm not in control of what I'm wearing, right? I was taking in, even like my clothes, I was just taking, people were giving me, they're like, I was about to donate this. Do you want this bag? And I had all these like random clothes of things. And I was like, it just nothing was to your, like your own body. It was nothing of choice. And so the way even we set up the gifting suite was by choice. It was like, okay, here are a few bags, fill it up as much as you want in a suitcase. You can take whatever you want. And whatever fits inside of these like big totes or whatever in the suitcase. And that was how we did it because we wanted people to choose. They didn't want to just hand them something. And I think that there's something in that is really important in terms of agency.
There's dignity in it, I think, having the
Yeah.
ability to have something and be able to choose. Thank you for this conversation, guys. This has been incredible.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you sharing with me and being here with me and sharing with our community. This is a very small community that I feel really lucky to be a part of, honestly. It's just so wonderful to see everyone's faces here and be up here and having this conversation. So thank you all. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.